In this episode, I'm going to discuss my successes and my challenges that I had this week, but then I'm also going to discuss a quote that I learned that really resonated with me while I was journaling this week. So if you're ready, let's get started. Hello, my artistic friends. I'm Kim, and welcome back to my artistic journey. This week, it's episode 2, and I'm going to recap some of my successes and challenges that I had creating this piece of art. And then I'm also going to go over a quote that I came across while I was journaling this week, and it really resonated with me because it talks about sacrifice. So those are the things we'll be covering in today's episode. So first, let me go over some of the things that I accomplished. And first and foremost, once again, is this painting. Now, as you can see, it's a painting of birch trees, or if you are from certain regions, they're aspens. You can see that it's not perfect, and that's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. But it was my first attempt using the impasto technique. I'm really impressed with myself because I've never done it before. It was primarily done with palette knives. The background was actually done with a sponging technique. And then once that background dried, I did the impasto technique. In all honesty, I didn't even have all the supplies that I needed to create this painting. It is from a class that I'm currently taking. And in order to do the main trees at first, I was actually supposed to use modeling paste mixed with the paint mixed into that to give the texture and the depth on the trees, and then I was going to add to it. Unfortunately, I didn't have any. So I had to do with what I had. I just used my acrylic paint. Then I layered on top of that, and then the layers on top of that, I had gloss medium, so I mixed my paint with my gloss medium. One, because acrylic paint has a tendency to dry matte, so gloss medium gives it a shiny finish, so it looks more like an oil painting. And secondly, it helps to extend and thicken the paint a bit more, which for this technique is really great because the thicker your paint, the better your quality of impasto technique. So I was really impressed with the final outcome, and I can honestly say I'm going to be exploring this more. I am in a class. I have 4 more lessons that I have to go through, and then once the class is over, I think I'm going to be experimenting more with this technique, even in my abstract painting, which is probably something I'm going to be working on today, as a matter of fact. Look forward to hopefully a behind the scenes video of that. So let's talk about some of the challenges that I faced while I was doing this painting. One in particular, which I think you probably can appreciate or understand to some extent, and that is it's been really difficult to buy the supplies that I've needed in order to continue doing my paintings and experimenting and whatnot and learning. Because back in May of this year, I was laid off from my job, and I'm currently in the process of looking for employment. Due to the fact I have a lack of income coming in, it's very difficult to buy supplies, buy canvas, buy paints, especially if you want like good quality stuff, especially when you want thicker stuff for impasto. Like I said, in order to get that texture, you need thicker paints, which also means a higher price point. So it's been kind of hard, but as frustrating as that is, I didn't want that to be an excuse as to why I didn't paint. One thing I've learned over the years is sometimes you've got to make do with what you have. And don't use the fact that you don't have something as an excuse to stop or not even try to do something. The thing I kept in mind was I wasn't trying to do an exhibition. I wasn't trying to create for a show. I wasn't doing commission art, right? I was just simply experimenting and learning. So if it's not perfect, that's okay. It doesn't have to be. It's simply for me to be able to learn, and then if I'm able to build those techniques based on what I have, and then I can slowly buy the materials that I need over time, then eventually I'm going to have the foundation for when I do have all those materials to make an amazing painting. I just tried to shift my mindset a little bit and focus on the joy of learning and experimenting, and less attention on the need for perfection and making it exactly the way my teacher's painting is. If you can relate to that, let me know in the comments, because that's something that's been a shift for me over time, and I've really had to learn that it's okay. You don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to have everything that your art class has to just at least go ahead and start playing and experimenting and learning. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is a quote that I ran across recently while I was journaling. For those of you who don't know, I journal on a regular basis, almost every day. And the bottom of my journal has these wonderful quotes for inspiration. And this particular quote really resonated with me. And it said, "If you don't sacrifice for what you want will be the sacrifice." And if you think about that, especially from the standpoint of someone who wants to create a business, or maybe even just wants to learn a skill, right? If you don't sacrifice certain things and commit to that business or to learning that skill, then that business or that skill is going to be sacrificed. You're not going to get what it is you ultimately want out of it. And that really resonated with me, because my art business has been something that I have been struggling over time. Even from the time that I was a photographer, I have struggled with that. And professional people, no matter if it's a creative or somebody who's in finance or someone who's in consulting or anything, a teacher, they will tell you that if you treat the thing that you want as a hobby, then it will always be a hobby. It will never be a business. You have to treat your business as a business. And when you stop treating it like a hobby, things start to happen. When I heard that quote, that really said to me, Kim, you have been treating your learning, your business, everything really as a hobby and not as a business. I haven't been doing my social media the way that I should be. I haven't been doing these videos and editing. I haven't been doing behind the scenes of my artwork. I haven't been doing the things that I need to do because there's a lot of work involved. And if you're someone who is a creative and is building maybe your YouTube channel or your social media or your Etsy store or whatever, you understand there is a lot of work that goes into it. And if you saw my first episode, you remember I talked about the fact that it's the 80-20 rule. 80% of your time will be dedicated to doing business things to build the business, and 20% will only be you doing your actual skill. Painting, crafting, whatever it is that you do. I haven't been doing that. I've been doing the complete opposite. And it's like, no wonder I'm not getting any traction, because I'm not treating it like a business. Even though I'm still looking for work, and I most definitely want to get back to work, because that's my income that helps me buy my supplies, I'm kind of taking advantage of the free time to start building the foundations I should have been building a long time ago. I think that it's really important for all of us to understand that if you know what you're doing as a hobby and that's all you want, then that's fine. That's great. Keep doing it. But if ultimately, like me, you want to create a business, then you have to start treating it like a business and stop treating it like a hobby. So one of the things that I do now is I really schedule my day. I have a planner. I used to try to do it electronically with the planner software. It just doesn't work for me. I guess I'm too old-fashioned, I don't know. But I get a planner and I have my calendar, and then I have the pages that have all the days, and I literally write out, what am I gonna do? How long am I gonna spend on this? What do I need to accomplish today? What do I need to do for the week? And start planning like a business. Planning my social media strategy, figuring out what I'm going to do. How often am I going to do these kinds of things? How often am I going to create paintings and then create behind the scenes or do tips or whatever I'm going to do? And trying to get better at planning. And understanding too that sometimes the life that you have to think about where is it that you are wasting time. For me, I think it's like most people binge watching Netflix or watching TV at night and just lounging on the couch and relaxing, kind of vegging out. That could be time that I could be editing videos or posting and scheduling my social media. That's wasted time. But I think what we have a tendency to do is we feel guilty because we're trying to build a business, but we also have lives. We have family, we have friends. Like yesterday, I finally had a girls' day. I haven't had a girls' day, I can't even tell you when. And we went on a dolphin cruise out of Tarpon Springs. And I had a great time. Those kinds of things are necessary because in my personal opinion, if all you're going to do is work and accumulate, but not appreciate what it is that you've done and accomplished, then what's the point? So I think you still need to take time to be with your friends, be with your family, and enjoy what you have created. But at the same time, you can't get too laxed and too comfortable with that. I think for me, I'm an early person. I like to get up early. I like to start work early. And usually by 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, my brain's going, yeah, I'm done. I'm tired. But my husband, a lot of times works nights. So he's not here to have, our time. That's a perfect opportunity for me to stop watching TV and go into my office and edit a video, or go into my social media and start planning, or at least post something, or get a plan together for the following week. There's lots of things that I can be doing to make better use of my free time without burning out and going overboard. You got to stop and smell the roses, but you also have to be committed and dedicated and willing to sometimes say no. Sometimes you have to say no to the invites. Sometimes you have to say no to the television or no to watching a movie. Sometimes you have to stay committed because if you want something that you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done. And it's sometimes hard for family and friends to understand, especially if they don't have an entrepreneurial spirit or they don't know somebody, like a spouse or a family member that is entrepreneurial. It's hard for them to understand the commitment that comes to creating a business. But you have to stay strong to that sometimes. So don't isolate yourself so much that you never go outside, you never see anybody, just so you can create this business. I mean, unless that's what you really want. But for me, isolating myself to that extent, for me personally, is not living. I have to be able to go out on my balcony and enjoy my view and watch the wildlife. I have to be able to go out on boat trips with my girlfriends and be able to say, have a nice girls' day, have a nice lunch, spend time with my husband, and building that relationship. But that also has to be balanced with committing and working a business. It's hard, I know, and it's something I struggle with every day. So if you have suggestions on how you've successfully made this balance work, where you've found the time to do both, let me know. I would love to hear your suggestions and I would love to learn from you. So just understand that if you have a hobby, it's a hobby. But if you treat your hobby like a business, it's a business and it will grow. So that's my goal and that's what I'm striving to do. Life as an artist involves continual learning, adaptation, and growth. Each week brings new challenges, but it also brings new opportunities, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. And I'm looking forward to seeing your journey as well. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer or reply to as many as I possibly can as soon as I can. But I would love to hear from you. And also, like I said, I'd love to know how you're handling the balance of life and building a business, if you are, of course. So thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate you. If you found this video helpful, please give me a like. When you do that, that really helps me, and it tells YouTube that people like what I'm saying and what I'm sharing, and it will share it with others so we can spread the word and build our community. Make sure to ring that bell so that you get notified every time I post a new video. And if you think you know someone that this would be very helpful for, please go ahead and give it a share. So thank you for watching. I wish you all the best. Have a great day. Bye, friends.